So this is a long question.
Okay.
In recent Res Life meetings, the topic of how to better improve racial relations was discussed. One suggestion was in the future to combine people that typically live in Founders with people that live in Lincoln due to what some call concerning demographics. For instance, 50% of Founders Residence Hall residents are African Americans compared to 29.8% who are Caucasian. Meanwhile, 68.6% of Lincoln Residence Hall residents are Caucasian compared to 16% who are African American. Despite concerns, allegedly leaders from a couple of the groups in Lincoln might have been opposed to switching it up and trying to even out the demographics. What are your thoughts on this, and do you think there's a problem with a disproportionate number of African Americans living in Founders Residence Hall compared to Lincoln?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, let me say I'm glad you know the numbers. It's really, really, really important to know exactly what the situation is, and I know that too, of course. I am not as concerned about those numbers as I am concerned about the larger issue of diversity and race relations on the campus. That, I think, is the area that we really need to work on. We're doing that, and I think we need to do even more. I think the Black History Month was a tremendous success this year, better than any I've seen in the last 5 years, thanks to the leadership of Justin and many other folks. So I personally don't believe the solution is to make the wholesale changes that you just named. And part of the reason I don't necessarily think that's the solution is because the various programs have a lot of programming that is important to them, and I don't really think that's the problem. But I think there is a lot more that we can do to provide students from all backgrounds with opportunities to get to know each other, and I think that's where we should focus our efforts.
Mm-hmm. Some say that when freshmen come in and they come in and they see a predominantly African American dorm and they see a predominantly Caucasian dorm, they say it creates a barrier. Do you not think there's a barrier there?
Well, I'll say this: if students think that creates a barrier, then that's a perceived barrier for them, and I would accept that as their reality. I think if that's the case, then I think we need to work on that more intensively to make sure that students have opportunities to have a completely rewarding and diverse experience, regardless of the background they come from. And I'm not, I'm concerned, and this isn't, of course, this isn't the first time I've heard this. And in fact, I have a meeting with Dr. Ford at 11:30 this morning, and this is one of the things that's on our agenda. Dr. Ford, as you know, is the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, and housing is under her wing.